Okay. So number 5 was the next one you guys asked about. On number 5, you're simplifying again. I have the cube root of w to the 7th. So when I do that, I can take out, let's see, 3 goes into 7 twice, so I have w squared. And then I have the cube root of 5, and there's 1 left over because 3 goes into 7 twice, so 2 times with 1 left over. This next part, the w cubed stays. I'm going to rewrite 625 as 5 to the 4th and w to the 4th. The cube goes into the 4th once with 1 left over. So I'm going to pull a 5 out, and I leave a 5 to the 1st inside. 3 goes into 4 once with 1 left over, and I still have this w cubed. So now I've got 4w squared cube root of 5w, and w times w cubed is w to the 4th times the cube root of 5w. And since I have a cube root of 5w in both terms, I can factor that out and write 4w squared plus 5w to the 4th. Now, technically, you could have factored out a w squared also, but when you look over at the possible answers, they didn't do that. And so E is your most simplified expression. Number 6 is the next one we're going to go over, so take a look at number 6, please. On number 6, f of x is 5x to the 3 halves. G of x is 4x to the 3 halves. And notice here the 3 halves is outside the parentheses, which means we have to take both 4 and x to the 3 halves power. You have to distribute the 3 halves power to both things in this parentheses. When you do that, you get 5x to the 3 halves. 4 to the 3 halves power is 8. And 5 minus 8 is a negative 3. So when I look over here, I combine like terms, I get negative 3x to the 3 halves. So the answer is C. The last one on the chapter 6 review that you guys asked for is number 10, which is the inverse of the graph shown. The fastest way to do this one is to graph. We know that the inverse should be symmetric over the line y equals x. So I'm looking for a graph that is going to be symmetric to this curve if I flipped it over. So for instance, 0, negative 2 should have the point negative 2, 0. This little tail that curves away from the line should curve away from the line. This curves kind of around towards the line, like this. So I'm looking for a graph that looks something like this. And I would go into my graphing calculator. I don't know how well you guys can see this. And I'd hit into my y equals. So I'd try 1 divided by 2x cubed minus 2. When I go into my graph, I'm going to hit zoom 6 to make it a standard window. And that is not the inverse. In fact, that looks like the actual graph. And then I try the next one. Now I know the cube root is the same thing as the 1/3 power. So I can either type in 2 times x plus 2 to the 1 divided by 3 power to get the cube root. Or I can hit math, go into the cube root, and then type in 2x plus 2. When I graph it, this looks promising to me. So I'm going to double check my XY table and see if I have the point. This was, I said, negative 2, 0. And if I go back up to negative 2, sure enough, I get 0. And so the answer is B. Okay. Chapter 7, you guys asked for 13, 14, and 16. I think I'm going to do that in a second video because I'm running out of time.